Hello, levies, and welcome to Witches and Wizards Confessions channel. Today's confession is about a young mother who realized that she gave birth to a murderer at a very young age. This woman was chased out of home for reasons that she will never understand, and she hasn't forgiven her parents till this day. It reads as follows. Hi, admin. I fell pregnant when I was just 13. I've told my parents that I don't know the father of my babies and they never believed me. If anything, they started treating me really bad. The truth is, I still don't know who the father of my baby is. I am telling the honest truth when I say I fell pregnant whilst I was a virgin. I have never ever in my life been with a man, but I realized that I was pregnant when I was about 5 to 6 months. I started having symptoms of pregnancy and I started behaving like a pregnant woman. I knew all this because I would constantly ask my older sister about pregnancy and everything. She is the one that broke the news to my parents, whom later got very irritated, annoyed, disappointed, and hurt. In that time, they decided that I wasn't their daughter anymore and they were disowning me only because I couldn't tell them who the father of my baby is. The truth is, I did not tell them who the father of my baby is, not because I didn't want to tell them, but because also I did not know. I had never in my life been with any man. But however, I've always had dreams of myself being intimate with a man that I've never seen his face. I moved out. I was chased out of home. I moved out. I went to live with my grandmother. My grandmother took me in, but she didn't want anything to do with me. She also kept on pressurizing me to tell her who the father of my baby is. Because she had that motherly love, she couldn't chase me out. My father is the one that chased me out, to be precise. My mother kept on trying to reach out to me, but my dad would get very angry each time he realized that my mother was still talking to me, until my mother decided to finally cut me off. I lived with my grandmother, but she treated me as an adult. And at that time, I was only 14 years old. I had to find food for myself. I had to vent for myself. I had to do everything for myself. I gave birth to a baby boy. The baby boy had blue eyes. The baby boy had red hair. The baby boy was very light in complexion. My grandmother kept on asking me, am I sleeping with white people? My dad has never met my son. My mother did meet my son, and my mother would send a few things to my home. I kept quiet and continued looking after my child. I even had to quit school. The truth is, I believe that I was impregnated by a spiritual husband or a spiritual demon. I don't know, but something made me pregnant. I was still a virgin at that time. My son was very weird. Apart from his weird looking features, he was just a weird child. He found pleasure in killing things. He would run around when he was 3 years old. He would run around in the yard and started hitting chickens with stones. And when they died, he would rejoice. He would find so much joy in that. And one day I realized when he was 5 that he found pleasure in hating everyone around him. He would pinch, he would do all these horrible things to other kids until their parents decided they wanted him nowhere near their kids. So he had to stay home. I had to keep him home. I had to keep him away from other kids. But during that time that I had to look at him and monitor him, I realized that he was indeed a danger to the society. At age 5, my son started showing me that he was indeed not good or fit enough to be in the society. At 5, my son would run out at night. He would actually sneak out at night and come back in the morning. When I realized this, I started asking him why he's doing all these things, and he has never told me. He would come back with TVs. He would come back with, this is a 5-year-old boy, guys. He would come back with TVs, he'd come back with cell phones, he'd come back with all those things. At the age of 6, he once came home with a bloody shirt. His shirt was filled with blood. I started wondering what was happening or what I gave birth to. By the time he was 12, he sat me down and told me that in this lifetime that he has killed more than 10 people. I tried finding out more. The more I try to find out, he gets very angry. I've reported him to the police where we come from, but they say that there is no proof. I've given them his bloody shirts. They have taken the shirts, but still nothing is being done. My son is very dangerous to society. Not only that, but he's very dangerous to me. One day when I woke up, I found my grandmother late. I wanted to find out how this could have been happening, but I had no answers. And then he looked at me and said she was a very disrespectful and selfish great grandmother, and I wanted nothing to do with her, and she deserved what I gave to her. I asked him what he did to my grandmother, and he has never told me to this day. But he keeps telling me that should you continue behave the way that you are doing, mother, you are next. My son gets so angry for over small little things that he turns the house upside down. He still goes out. He still comes back with bloody shirts. He's got different weapons in the house. No one is doing anything about this. I've reported it to the police. I've reported it to the social workers, but they all come back with no yielding results. I live in fear. The other day when I was going through his stuff in his room, I found an ear. I took it to the police station. Nothing was done. The second time when I decided to look in his things, I found toes and fingers in the wardrobe. Something that really shocks me is when he turned 15, when I started finding weird things, weird body parts in his room, every time I'm supposed to take them to the police station, they just disappear. Thanks to this platform that I realized that this could be something to do with witchcraft. I think I gave birth to a demon because to start with, I have never been with a man. Secondly, my son has weird features. As much as I mentioned all the features before, he is a totally different person at night. At night, he is very dark. During the day, he is light. At night, he has long hair. During the day, he has normal curly hair. So something here is really wrong and I do not know what to do. I've sought help. I've consulted. I've done everything that I could have been to church, but nothing is changing. I am suffering myself. When I took him to consult, the Sangoma that we went to consult at chased us right at the gate before we even entered his yard. He chased us away and made a lot of drama and told me never to return. So I decided to consult alone at a different Sangoma. And when I got there, I was told that I live with a very dangerous creature and my life was in danger. I am told that one day he is going to eat me alive. I've tried to run away from him, tried to run back to my parents' homes, but he always finds me. And I was advised to never live with anyone else because he is going to kill everyone around me. So he just wants me to himself. Another thing that really bothers me is I think my son is sleeping with me. Every night I see him standing at my door naked. Next thing, I am gone. I have passed out. I don't know what happens. When I wake up, I find myself feeling pain down there. I need help. I need serious help. I've been up and down seeking for help, but I haven't found help anywhere. Please, admin, please read my story to your people. Write my story. Share my story. I need help. I will share more details about who I am to anyone who is willing to help me. I'll share my location, I'll share where I am, I'll share everything, I'll even share pictures. Please help me. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.